Alright y'all, welcome back to the channel. So this is a long-awaited video, and it's going to be the walk around of the OBS GMC, the 98 GMC, however you want to phrase it, GMT 400. But this is going to be the walk around and drive of it, and I'm making this video of why in the heck did I buy this and was it worth it. So I'll get into that here in a little bit. Go ahead and take a walk around the truck, kind of look it over here. And yes, it is originally a 3500 dually truck. I'll post some pictures of how it looked before I put the welding bed on it, and kind of give a little background story later on what happened to that bed. See here in the back, I have the fenders for it. I'll say this truck for a long time was my daily driver slash work truck. I just replaced it, probably about 2 years ago. So, as you can see, I already have the holes here drilled for the fenders. I still have to cut this little hump here out, and there's a few other things I have to do. Comment below if you want to see a video on how to put the dually flares on your single wheel bed. The truck is originally a SLT model. Got the aftermarket tow mirrors, Alcoa wheels, factory, aftermarket headlights and cab lights. Did the upgrade here, not just for the master cylinder but also the hydro boost. So these are off of a new body style. I think it's like a 2003 to 2007 or 2006 is where that setup comes from. 7.4 liter Vortec. If you see back there, the fuel pressure regulator, the reason that's in is simply for the fact of I kept going through a bunch of fuel pressure regulators from AutoZone and O'Reilly's with this thing. They would last for about 6-7 months and then they'd go out. So finally I said, screw it, I'm going aftermarket. I'm going to put a gauge on there so I'll always know what pressure I'm running. Other than that, it has the towing radiator in it, still has the mechanical fan. That's pretty much it for under the hood. Inside here, it's had the panels in plastic converted to black, seat swap, center console. We got the touch screen in it. And the back seat. And then I'm still in the process of painting a lot of these parts in here. So I've had this truck for quite a while now, probably about 10 years. I think I put 150,000 miles on it when I bought it used. Has the steering wheel with the radio controls on it. All right, let me get this camera set up in here, and then we'll take it for a test drive, and I'll kind of talk a little bit more about the truck. One other thing I did want to kind of show you guys, I don't know how many people have the center console in their truck. And then not just the center console, but if you let me turn my key on real quick, it also has the overhead display. All right, so now we'll get started with our test drive. Okay, let's go ahead and start this truck up and start this test drive. So, a little backstory on the truck. I got it, I think, right when I got out of high school. I needed a truck for work, something a little bit bigger, something I could be able to tow my camper and whatnot back and forth to work. So, started looking around. I knew I wanted an older truck, something I could fix, something I could work on, you know, just something that would last me, you know, a good long time until I could eventually afford something better. So right now it's looking 261,000 miles. So I put about 160,000 on it. So I put about 160,000 miles on it since I got it. This truck has been through the ringer. I remember there was one time I was driving to work. Everything was going good. All of a sudden I hear this loud bang, and then look back and there's sparks coming from underneath my truck. The muffler, well, most of the exhaust system rotted out and wound up dropping and dragging on the ground. So if you kind of notice in the video, the truck sounds a little louder, kind of weird sounding. That's because I just never put the rest of the exhaust and the mufflers back on. But that was one time. I was telling y'all, I kind of tell you the backstory about how the truck went from being a dually bed to the single wheel bed like you see now. Basically what happened is like I was saying, I was going out to work. I was working as a welder out of town, and I needed a welding bed. So I took the original bed off, you know, got some people to kind of give me a hand to lift it off. Wait till I get up to speed so it quiets down a little. Alright, sorry about that. I had the camera fall. So, I don't remember where I was at now. Oh, about the bed. So, had the guys help me. We went and pulled the bed off, right? And then after we got the bed up, somebody rolled the truck forward. All of a sudden, one of the guys that I had helping me was complaining about the bed being heavy. So I'm like, okay, whatever, you know. We'll set the bed right down and it'll be fine. Well, before we could set the bed down gently, the guy goes, "It's too heavy, I can't do it." And he just drops the bed. And as soon as he drops the bed, everybody else starts freaking out and they drop the bed. The thing comes crashing down and completely destroys the bottom of the bed, just curls in underneath. So I was like, whatever, it is what it is. You know, I just need to get this welding bed on and get back to work. Put the welding bed on, did that for a while, and then moved back home, got a new truck because I didn't need this one to be, you know, the welding truck anymore. I wasn't doing that. So I go to take the welding bed off, sell the welding bed. Well, then I have an issue of, what do I do for a bed now? So I started looking for dually beds, right, in my area. I think in the entire state, I only found one dually bed for sale. And they wanted like $1,200 for it. And it still needed work to the fenders. They were all cracked and whatnot, and didn't match the color, so I'd have to get the whole truck repainted. So I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do that. Kept looking around. Finally, I'm like, you know what, I'll just buy me a single wheel. I know it'll, you know, get the same color about the same year, so it all matches. And I'll just put my dually flares on. So that's what I did. And had the bed on, you know, everything was good. I was gonna put the flares on. One day I'm driving to work, boom, charger for another bed. You know, I'm just gonna bang out the dent, straighten it the best I can, and put the flares on. That's where we're at today. Yeah, and then you guys probably noticed too in the video, there's the front bumper where it has the big dent in it. So that was a good story. That was another one going to work, and it was real snow-packed roads out here, and my four-wheel drive wasn't working at the time. So I go to hit the brakes, and things start sliding. So I'm like, okay, you know, let off the brakes, get back control of the truck, right? Well, by that time, the truck had already started to slide, and I ran smack dab right into a pole. Dead to the front bumper. The other thing that happened to the truck was I had just put a brand new engine in it, had a local shop do it, and one of the injectors, the new injectors that we had put on, they didn't quite put it in all the way. So I was driving back to work in Texas, and I had gotten all the way there. It was like a 12-hour trip or something to drive back out there. And I finally get there, everything's good. I am 5 minutes away from the job site when the injector pops out, floods the entire engine bay with fuel, and then sets the truck on fire. So, you know, it was a blessing. I had me a case of water in the back, and I wound up dumping the entire case of water on the engine to put the fire out. But the wiring harness, everything was just burnt up to a crisp. I'll have to show you guys some pictures of the engine bay. There's a couple parts in there you can see are still melted from the fire. So that happened. I got the truck towed somewhere, bought a wiring harness off of a junkyard somewhere online, put it all in there, got it back up and running, and it's been running pretty decent ever since. So needless to say, you know, if you're definitely asking yourself if you should buy one of these 88 to, if you get the 1-ton trucks, I think it goes up to 2002, older body style Chevys or GMCs, and you're wondering if it's reliable, I mean, this truck's been through the ringer and back, and it just keeps on working. I mean, alright, sorry about that, guys. I keep having this darn phone holder falling on me. So yeah, basically what I'm just trying to say is these trucks are tough, and I don't regret buying this thing at all. I mean, it's lasted me almost 10 years now. You know, been through hell and back, and it just keeps working. It still pulls all my trailers I got here on the farm. You know, it's a tough truck, and parts are cheap for it. I mean, not, you know, dirt cheap, not in today's economy, but they're affordable parts. They're easy trucks to work on. You get all the benefits of still having something fuel injected, but you get the feel of an older vehicle still. Now, for mine, which is the 7.4 or the 454, I think the best I've ever seen was on a nice day, no wind, flat road on the highway. I think I got about 12.5 when I calculated it. Going through town, I usually get about 9. Average on the highways 11 to 12 usually. Pulling a trailer, depending on the size of the trailer, anywhere from 9 to 7 usually miles per gallon when pulling a trailer. So not the best fuel economy. I've heard that the 350s are a lot better on fuel economy. Never owned one. I did have a 4.3 liter V6 extended cab. I think that one was a 94 GMC, and I had tuned it up, got it running good, and I think I was getting 23 miles to the gallon on that thing on the highway. I mean, it was pretty good, and it would chirp the tires. You know, it was a good little truck for being a V6. But yeah, these are tough trucks though, you know, and I don't regret it. Mods are easy. You know, the nice thing about GM, if you're a GM fan, you kind of already of I think it was a 99 Oldsmobile Bravada. You know, and you can also find them in the Blazers. And I think the Jimmys came with them as well. So, you know, a lot of different options if you guys want to do something like that. And then the one thing about these one-ton trucks, you know, whether it's a Ford, Dodge, whatever, it is a bumpy ride. It's like you're going through battle in a tank. You know, it'll beat you to death. But that's just, you know, part of the price of having a heavy-duty truck. So, you know, I could talk all day long about all the positives and all the good things about one of these old trucks. I've had two now. You know, the 4.3 liter and then now the 7.4 liter. You know, you're not going to get the power that you get out of like a new truck, even a new gas truck, especially not a diesel. I mean, it doesn't even compare. My new truck is a 16 Dodge with the Cummins in it. You know, but this truck, you got to understand, when this truck came out in 98, you know, the diesel that came out wasn't much better than the gas engine. And the maintenance on it cost a lot more. So a lot of people opted for the gas over the diesel. You know, it wasn't until a few years later that they finally came out with the Duramax. And that completely changed the game for Chevy. You know, that was a real diesel. You know, you put it in a truck and you could tell the difference. And I'm not trying to bash on the, you know, the 6.5s or the 6.2 guys. I had a 82 Chevy square body that had a 6.2 diesel in it. And it didn't make that much power, didn't go that fast. Good gas mileage though, had great gas mileage, fairly reliable. But it was just a different time, and diesels, especially GM diesels, had a different function back then. You know, when Cummins put their diesel in, it was for towing. It was made for truck. When Chevy was putting their diesels in, it was just for fuel economy. You know, they were like, well, if somebody wants to tow, they'll just buy a 454. You know, somebody wants a truck that gets good fuel mileage and can tow a little bit, that's what the diesel's for. So it was different mindsets back then. It wasn't until the Duramax came out that GM's like, well, why can't we give them fuel economy with towing potential? And that kind of changed the thing for Chevy. But yeah, so just keep the mindset, you know, it's a 90s truck. It's not going to have the best gas mileage. It's not going to have the most power, but it will do whatever you need it to do. You know, it's like I have my 20-foot stock trailer that I'll haul cattle in, and it pulls it just fine. A little slower than my diesel, sure, but you know, that's the other thing you got to realize too is for years and years, you know, everybody did all the same work we do today in these trucks back then. You know, they're made to work. They just don't do it as fast as the new stuff. So that's my little rant about that. 'Cause I hear a lot of people talk about how these trucks are underpowered, bad fuel economy, stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, but you're comparing it to today's technology, which is leaps and bounds above what it was in the 90s. Then I also had one person comment that asked if I'm going to do an LS swap on this. I don't think I would do an LS swap on this, you know, because I'm not saying the LS is a bad platform, but I don't know. I have my 82 Chevy square body that has an LS in it. Not really wanting to do another LS swap. If I did anything to this, it would either be do something to the 454, or I'd try to Duramax swap it if I was to do anything to it. But yeah, I mean, the reason I wanted to do this video, you know, is I didn't see that many videos about people talking about these style of Chevys and whatnot. Got the camera falling again. So if there's anything else you'd like to see on the truck, you know, go ahead and comment down below. It takes me a little bit to get back to comments, but I usually do try to answer everybody's comments on this channel. I did kind of take like a, I guess you could call it a hiatus for a while, just with life going on and everything else. Kind of got away from the channel a little bit, but I'm gonna try getting more back into the channel now and start pumping out some more content. So if you do like the truck, you know, and you have questions on it, you want to see some stuff on it, so go ahead and comment below, and I'll try to pump some videos out for you guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish doing my drive back to the house now, and that'll probably